Well, what did I get myself into today? Oh, look, a hose. Oh, look, a hole. Well, in the last episode, you saw that I replaced the starter, the switch, and the carburetor. Then I put the inline filter in, and I come out yesterday and she started sputtering and spitting and spitting and sputtering. And apparently the tank is worse than I thought. Okay, I did flush it out before and used this stuff here, the rust out. I used way more than what they call for. And you let it soak, and then you rinse it and you flush it. And I really need a flashlight for you guys to be able to see a lot better down in there. But you can see down in there. I've rinsed it out quite a few times, but I'm going to go overboard on this because I don't want to keep dealing with this fuel system. You know, it was just running off, and I knew it was the fuel. There was no doubt in my mind at that point. I've done this enough to know the difference between fuel, spark, timing, all of it. I know it's fuel. So that's been flushed out about 5 times, maybe 6, using that. But now it's time to soak it using that. Okay, this is a 7.5 gallon tank. And I got 7 gallons of distilled white vinegar. This stuff works really, really good. They do make, I don't know what, a 30% or 40% industrial strength, and there's all kinds of warnings on it. I will tell you, I got this for $5 a gallon. So for 35 bucks, I'm going to dump it in there, soak it for a couple hours. A lot of people would go overnight. I don't think it's to that level now that I've taken the steps. I've you know, used the rust out, power washed it out, rust out, power washed it out, let it go down, power washed it out. Now I think it's time to get some white vinegar in there. I do have the old sediment bowl assembly off of there and will be replacing it. I'm going all new on this. I'm not playing. Somebody made the mention that, oh, you don't need a new assembly, you just need a new gasket. Well, number one, how would you know? You're not here to see what I need. But number two, you must have known, because yes, I did need a new gasket at the very least. But sometimes these bowls even get a little wonky over time. And they're cheap enough. I mean, I bought a whole new assembly for 30 bucks. So that's the deal. I did buy a tune-up kit as well. Points condenser, different things like that. Really also what kind of is bothering me about this too is the plug wires. So that's a whole different video, and maybe I won't even make a video of it. But let's get the white vinegar in there. Let's screw this back in to plug the hole, and there's his little extension that he put on there. Not bad, not a bad idea. I get why he did it. Does make sense. But this is like a band-aid on a flesh wound versus just cleaning the tank out and being absolutely done with it forever, and then never letting this thing get below a 1/2 to 3/4 of a tank. So let's get dumping. One down, 6 to go. Now, it helps if you actually shut the petcock off. And of course I put it in a place where only an ant could get it. Well, I stopped at 6 gallons. I can reach my finger in there and get the tip of it wet. So I think we're good. Want anything to fly in there, so I'll just kind of loosely and gratuitously put that cap back on there. And you know, there's nothing clogged in there. But yeah, I think it was, you know, for the money, I think it was due for a new sediment bowl. Man, these are, I guess they do the job, but I've seen better screens. I like the ones with the plastic rim going around them, and in the center here a little bit better than these. So yeah, one way or another, we're gonna have a clean tank. I ain't dealing with it. And you know, so he says, oh, you know, the little cubs are easy to work on and stuff. I dissent. That tank's all part of the hood system. You know, I'd rather work on an M, honestly, in a lot of ways than a cub. You know, taking this whole hood assembly off with the tank and everything, it's a bear. You know, you can go over there and pull that A stuff, you know, pull the A hood off, you know, pop the muffler off, pull the A hood off. Same with the H. I mean, even the 756, but these little suckers, they want to give you a bit of a hard time. So anyways, I'm going to let that sit. I have had the tender on all night, and it's still red, and that's a little bit discerning. And no, I don't have the battery switch on. I have done that, and it was red. I turned the switch off, and then it went green, but I need to check those connections and make sure I'm solid on those, because that could be an issue. That's the other thing I'm not doing too, is I'm not rolling into winter with an iffy battery. I'm not rolling into winter with anything, with anything iffy. And just saying not spraying. But, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it sat all night, so that should be green. I don't think it was that dead to begin with. Yeah, I just kind of slosh it. Maybe it's good that I didn't put 7 gallons in it, because 6 allows it to slosh back and forth. Well, it's been a few hours, and it's draining into the, based on the sound, what is that, existent bucket or non-existent? I can't even remember. I'm just going by sound. It sounds kind of like it's going into a bucket. Yeah, well, yes, it is. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything going down the whirlpool like there was. I mean, I had chunks and everything else coming out of there. I think the first flushing, what it did, the first couple flushings I did before I put the carb on there, I think what it did is just loosen up a bunch of stuff, and then it became more loose the more I filled it. And looking at it from the other side, it does look a little bit cleaner. No doubt about it. And I got the regular garden hose, and we're going down in. You know, when I get this all put back together, I'll put 2 cans of seafoam in it. And seafoam's basically, it's like a dry gas on steroids, and it'll work good. And you know, it's going to spit and sputter at first till I run whatever it is I need to run out of it, but it's not going to be a problem for me anymore. Going down to Delaware. Yeah, there's a chunk right there going down. Sheesh. You just keep doing it until you start running clean, man. From my experience, there's a lot of crap going down that. Yeah, you don't stop until you run a couple times clean. Any kind of sediment or bull crap going down in there. Now the sediment bowl will catch a lot of that stuff, but you're going to have to keep popping the bowl off there and cleaning it at least probably every other day. Alright, so what did I buy? I got the old County Line Special, and this sediment bowl will fit Super A, AV, A1, AV1, through even a 656. I am here to tell you though, for certain, I wouldn't put that small of a bowl on a gas 656. No way, no how. I'm not really that crazy about putting that small of a bowl on a cub, but I certainly wouldn't do it on a 63 horsepower tractor, that's for sure. So let's get this thing thrown on here, get everything hooked back up, get some gas in it, some dry gas in it, i.e. seafoam, and see if we can get it to sputter its way out to clean fuel. Now this comes with its own inline setup, but honestly this is a situation where I think the old one's fine, and so I'll go ahead and use this connection here and put the other one on the shelf. I can see as this new sediment bowl assembly screws into the tank, naturally it is elevated probably 1/4 of an inch off the bottom. But you know, if some guys don't clean their tank out, they go another 1/2 inch beyond that. So they're, you know, a good 3/4 of an inch. I would rather clean the tank myself. How about you? All right, so the hard line's on. And now I'm going to put the soft line back on there, like so. We're gonna slide it up about as far as we can get it, really, and still have enough for the filter. I think we're right there. Yeah, and you can see, I don't know what you can see, but right there, I mean, it's already collected a lot of dirt and filth in this filter, and that's why I was just like, okay, I get it. I gotta tear it apart, but yep. Let's get this top one. Well, let's size this up first. And I know a lot of you were saying, well, you know, it's sticking out there pretty far. This is like the initial prototype, you know. This ain't the end all be all. I may even go to the smaller filter. I don't know. I don't know yet. And it's going to spit and sputter for 5-10 minutes until we run the moisture out. It may spit and sputter longer than that. I don't know. But I know the tank's clean. And the new bowl filter on there, we're going to be a winner. We come up top here, and yeah, like I say, I showed you earlier in the video, there's his extension, but they already got kind of an extension on them. I don't know when I'm going to be able to show you down in there. Need a flashlight, but it's up there. Believe me when I tell you, right now what I want to do is get seafoam in there, which is basically a dry gas, then the gas on top of it, get it churning, and see what happens. That red light on the battery's got me a little concerned. The battery's getting replaced as well. All right, the old seafoamer. And I'll tell you, if you do it this way, you're going to have a little bit of moisture. It doesn't matter. You could take a hair dryer or blower down in there, and it's not going to matter. You're going to have some moisture to work out. It's not that big of a deal. Knowing is half the battle. All right, got the seafoam in there. Now the gas key. And no, I'm not putting the old gas back in it. Somebody was like, oh yeah, you can save that vinegar. And I'm like, I suppose if you were doing it enough, you'd run it through a strainer and put it in a container and whatever, but no, that stuff is filthy. Well, got about a 1/2 tank in there in that can of seafoam, as to not dilute the seafoam too much. And we're going to put safety cap back on there, double vented, and fill this thing up. This fuel bowl in the carb. All right. Turn the petcock on, open it up. We should be filling up. Yep. Oops, I should have. As I open this up, I am going to shut the carburetor, or close the carburetor drain plug. Where are we leaking from? Okay, and why? Okay, so we are bubbling out of there. Okay, it's not far enough up. Okay, minor adjustment to make real quick. Well, there you go. Tighten that hose clamp up a little bit. I liked seeing how fast this filter filled up when I opened up the petcock. That's something that wasn't going on consistently before I drained the tank. And it filled right up. So let's crank her over and see what happens. I expect a lot of spitting and sputtering. I don't know about you. Disconnect the tender that seems to maybe be working, or the battery ain't taking a charge. Again, that's last on the list, right before winter. All right, battery on. I'm not going to choke it at first. A little spluttering. There you go. Yeah, got that water in it. Just got to run the moisture out. Choked it, killed it. Sounds good when it is running smooth. It sounds okay. Uh-oh. 5-10 minutes. I think I can have most of the moisture out of it. That makes me happy. I just need to let it run. I may put another can of seafoam in it and actual dry gas, but I don't think I need to mix the two. A little sputtery, that's what I expected. I bought this County Line tune-up kit. That's probably going on next, whether it needs it or not. It doesn't sound like it needs it, but I bought the kit anyways. Yeah, I throttled up a little bit to get the situation moving a little faster. And yeah, good amount of fuel. We're full up to here, so it ain't starving. And the bowl's clean as a whistle for now. Like I say, I'll watch it. Rebuilt carb, inline, new sediment bowl, flushed out tank. I think we got a winner. And again, I don't know, I'm going to be working in the open, not around brush or anything like that. And we'll see what I do as far as that sticking out, because I mean, you can see right there. You know, clearly it is sticking out. You're brush hogging around fence rows or something, that's not okay. But plowing the driveway in the winter, wide open, that's okay. You just got to know what your application is. But I'm thrilled, man. I'm thrilled. It sounds better than it ever has, to be honest with you. Got to get your tanks clean. Start at the top and go to the bottom. Don't bother even rebuilding your carb until your tank's clean, or rebuild it and have it in the loom. But I always recommend an inline filter. Thanks for watching. See you at the next video.